Hello, I'm Mario, and this video is part 3 of an install series for the Haloview camera system. So part 1 and part 2, I installed the rear view camera and the side view cameras, and those all work wirelessly with a monitor. And so now I have the monitor actually mounted in the truck. So what I wanted to do was go over a couple of things with how I have it set up in my truck. And I'm not going to go into great detail on how to do the, maybe not programming, but how to manage the settings and stuff, but instead give an overview of how I have things set up and kind of explain some of my reasoning of why I did this versus another thing, and then also kind of initial impression. I've had this working here for a while. I haven't had it working for a long period of time. I mean, you guys saw me do the install. But yeah, so let's take a look inside the pickup and see what I got going on. So my trailer lights are on. I have power going to the trailer lights, and thus the all 3 of the cameras have power and are on. And then over here, what I have is the cigar lighter adapter thing plugged in and powered on. And then so this is my lithium battery bank, as I mentioned before. And so I just have this wire here going to the unit. Let me see if I can get this. Going to the unit right here. And this seems to be working pretty good for me here. What I have is some oh man, now I forgot the name. But anyway, I have these mounts here. And I used to have my RV890 mounted right here. And I was really thinking what I was going to do was mount this monitor up here on my dashboard somewhere. So the rear view mirror I have removed. And this is actually a new windshield, but even the new windshields come with this little bracket right here. So I don't know, maybe I can find one where there's actually a rear view mirror delete, but I wasn't able to find one as far as getting a windshield that doesn't have this black background and whatnot. But what I'm getting at here is I moved the RV890 here, and then over here I have my tire pressure monitoring system. I still have space here for my air suspension, Dumaflachi there. And then over here I mounted the little Garmin inReach, and I even still have space in the back. I might mount something on that back window. I've always considered mounting a like I don't know, maybe some antennas or something like that, but I wasn't sure how well the rearmost camera would be working. You know, since it's wireless to the monitor, I wasn't sure exactly how that was going to work out. So at any rate, this is the layout I've been working with. I did try to use, there's a little channel in the back, like a where you could use a T-bolt. And so instead of using that, I went ahead and I used this mount system here, this little bracket, and then just kind of used a fastener to mount that to one of these, you know, ball joint things here for the mount. I don't know why I can't remember the name of those mounts. So, but at any rate, what I wanted to do was not use this metal bracket. So you can see it kind of, you know, moves around, but really not any more than my navigation unit did. And I really, really like the position right here. This has been very effective for me, and I think I prefer the navigation up here. So I just used what I had to get things situated where they are right now, and I'm just kind of playing around with how this is set up. I'm liking it thus far. One thing I do want to talk about is a little bit are these function keys right here. So something that I have been, so I'm not going to go over all of the functions and every single thing, but I just wanted to give an overview of, you know, what I'm using, how I'm using it. So there's these buttons right here, and I'm very glad that they are here. So for instance, you have dimming switches, so I can make this brighter if I wanted to, and then bring it down. And then if I bring the brightness all the way down, then it seems like these keys will illuminate, So I don't know exactly when they illuminate. I think maybe when it goes into black and white mode, meaning that when the cameras use their day-night function and switch into black and white for night mode. I don't know exactly what it is, but these lights down here for the keys, they'll illuminate blue, and they're not too bright. So that's helpful. I've had to kind of, on times, I don't know when these things light up, so that's kind of an interesting deal, but they seem to automatically do it. And but yeah, the dimming switches work pretty good. So that's about that's about middle of the road. And then some other functionality that's interesting is that if I go to the menu, I can navigate over to the different keys here. And then so here is like Q mode. And then so if I click OK, now I can have different split screen functions in the Q mode. So if I just wanted to have camera 2 and 4, or I wanted just the rear camera with the split screen, then I can have that. And then so to get to the Q mode, what they call Q mode, I have to hit this select button here. And then so this is the Q mode. If I keep hitting select, it'll cycle through the different cameras. Now here's what's happening. I have a widescreen view, so it kind of just, it changes the ratio of the screen format ratio on the cameras. So the side views aren't terrible, but at any rate, I don't really use this split screen where I have the 3 cameras. It's just trying, I don't know. Actually, I haven't really been using the side cameras that much while driving, while navigating through traffic. But I have been using the rear one. But what I'm getting at is that this Q mode thing, really basically what I do is I just have one camera selected, and that is the rear camera while I'm driving. And so I haven't been using the side view cameras. One reason is that I have to keep hitting that select button to get to that camera, and I don't have time to do that while I'm driving, you know, hitting the button 3 times or, you know, however many times and looking for that thing, because the camera has to load. So what I think is going to happen is then I'm going to have to use the triggers. I mean, maybe do have like a switch or something that I can just, I don't know, maybe rotate a switch to position 1 or position 3 for the side cameras, and then have position 2 of the switch be for the rear camera. I don't know. Right now, what it boils down to is that I use the rear view camera while driving to see about traffic behind me. But what happens is that during the night, I mean, basically, if there's a car behind me, it just looks like I'm being chased by a UFO. I can't really see anything but a red, not a red glow, but just kind of a glow of light behind me. So I can, and that's really all I really want to know is kind of like, is somebody behind me or is there not somebody behind me? Not that I'm just worrying, you know, you can't just constantly look behind you, but that's what I use that for. And I'm not using the side cameras. So as far as the functionality of it in general, about how good the cameras work, they work well. But then the pitfalls would be like at nighttime, or maybe I've had a couple instances where if the sun's just beating down right on the camera, then that renders the camera useless. And then also, as far as having the screen, the monitor down in this area here, having it here, it's working very well. There's only been a few occasions where the sun has glared down on it. So I don't have the little shade screen thing here. And I haven't really needed the shade screen as of yet. So I've driven a few times at night. I've driven in the rain, and I've driven with the sun, you know, in different positions, and it's been working pretty good. So what happens with the rain is, like, if you hit, if the wind just blows a different direction, like you slow down for a turn and then you turn and now the wind's hitting the back of the trailer, so rain can collect on that rear camera, but it stays clean. So basically what it boils down to is these cameras are a supplement to the mirrors. They are not a primary tool. The other point on that is that these are digital, so there's latency. As you're driving along, you're not really getting a real-time understanding of the vehicles and your situation. It's not a real-time deal. There's going to be latency from, you know, what's actually happening to what gets displayed on the monitor, and that's going to be a larger amount of latency compared to an analog camera system that you might see from the factory of, you know, if you bought a Ford or a GM or a Honda or whatever. Those camera systems are not going to have the same latency as this system. So to reiterate, the point is this. This is a supplement, and I'm depending on my mirrors and just being aware and that sort of thing. And the best part of this is the rear view camera. The side view cameras, while I'm driving, I'm not really being able to use them that much, even as a supplement. So I may in the future, if I have a better way to trigger and get that camera up and running quickly, or I anticipate that I might be able to use it in a certain area, then yeah, then maybe I can get that to work. But right now, this is how I have it set up. I'm happy with this setup, and I think that's pretty much about it. The only other thing that I would like to add to this is that I did mount the cameras. So the cameras, I had 4 cameras, and they were shipped out to me, and they were pre-programmed for certain, to use in a certain location, i.e. left side versus right side, you know, over the porch versus the rear view camera. And so I kind of changed all of that around. So what was originally the porch camera, I have that mounted as a rear view camera. And the reason why I did that was that, well, I just wanted to see if the antenna would work being some, I don't know, about 30 feet away from my monitor right now. So I got the monitor's down here, and my camera is about 30 feet behind me over there. So it's working well. I do see that kind of some jittery kind of, you know, it's a little bit jittery. I don't know how to explain it, but it's that latency thing of kind of like the signal gets sent and then now you see it. So traveling 60, 70 miles an hour, not that I'm really doing 70, you know, maybe once in a blue moon, but I did test it, and it's working pretty good. So I don't think I need to use the cable extender to get way back there. That's what I was talking about, is that it functions well enough, but you have to take the image with a grain of sand, and it's not a primary deal. The other thing, I guess, with the rear one is they have this this little thing here. You can program that to kind of figure out where things are, and I do use that to see how close objects are. So the rear camera is working very well. I'm happy with it. It is a supplement, but yeah, so you can move the cameras around. I kind of lost my point, sorry about that. But you can move the cameras around, and I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna show you. There's a little button on the side of the camera, so you can reprogram, hey, I don't want this to be camera 1, I want it to be camera 3. So you can have the physical camera and you can repair that and say, hey, no, now this one is camera 1. So this is one of the side view cameras, and so even the other rear camera has a little pairing button. I just wanted to show you where that button is. Here on the side view, you can see that it's actually right here on the side of the camera. There's a little black button right there. And so on the rear view camera, that would be on top. That little button there would be on top. And basically, you push the button and then that sets it into pairing mode. You run up to the monitor and then pair it with the different camera number, camera 1 versus camera 3. That's how that works. And so what I'm getting at is that camera 1 really should be the driver's side camera, and camera 2 really should be the passenger side camera, and I think camera 4 really should be the rear view camera, although that might be able to be switched around. But there's a button, you can reprogram it and repair it in camera 1. All right, I think that's enough on this video. So if I move into the triggers, then I'll do another like Haloview camera, so that might be like a part 4. But I think as far as like having different parts for the videos, I think I'm done with that. So there is a 4th camera, and I'm thinking about installing it in the front of the pickup truck. But what I'm going to do is any additional videos will likely just simply be added onto the playlist in general. And I'm not going to make it like a part 4, 5, 6. So just a little note there. But yeah, hopefully this was helpful, helping you guys understand how all this stuff works. I am a little bit, I'd like to find some hardware for the T-channel thing. Maybe if I order some stuff on Amazon, so I'll let you know on that too. Because if I could avoid using that bracket, then that would be cool. But yeah, I got it mounted. It's working. I'm happy I have it. I'm happy I have it mounted, but it's not, like I said, it's a supplement. You can't depend on this as a primary way to navigate the roads. It works in some instances for backing and stuff like that, but it's not a replacement for the mirrors, and it's not even primary to using your mirrors. So, all right, that's it. I'm going to close this one out. Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you found it entertaining, or at least informative. Take care, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.